Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Federal Capital Territory Command has arrested 82 suspected vandals and 22 illegal miners from August till date. The FCT commandant of the NSCDC, Olushola Odumosu, gave the figures during an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria on Thursday in Abuja. Odumosu said that 20 suspects were arrested in connection with manhole cover theft and vandalism of critical national assets and infrastructure. He said that 5 suspects were arrested in September for alleged vandalism of electrical cables, 14 for alleged vandalism of other public property, and 2 others for alleged television theft. The commandant said that the other suspects include 28 persons nabbed for alleged railway vandalism and destruction of other critical national assets. Abia State Governor Alex Otti has signed the 2024 appropriation bill of 567.2 billion naira recently passed by the State House of Assembly into law. While signing the bill on Thursday, Otti said the 2024 budget would move Abia from its current level of underdevelopment to development. He noted that the budget ratio of 84% for capital expenditure and 16% for recurrent was not a mistake but deliberate plan to accelerate the growth of Abia's economy within a short space of time. The governor maintained that every money borrowed to finance the project would be channeled to capital expenditure, adding that the budget is expected to excite foreign and local investment, spur large-scale and medium businesses, secure the state, and prepare Abia for the next level of development. The Kano State Police Command has arrested 9 suspects who specialized in interstate trafficking, abduction, buying and selling of minors. The State Commissioner of Police, Usaini Gumel, disclosed this while parading the suspect at the Bompai Command's headquarters on Thursday. He explained that the suspects were apprehended after conducting several intelligence-led operations through which the long-time circle of interstate trafficking syndicates hibernating around Kano, Bauchi, Gombe, Lagos, Delta, Anambra, and Imo states were identified and dismantled. According to Gumel, 7 victims, who are mostly minors, were rescued from the suspects. The chairman of the Police Service Commission, Solomon Arase, has called for a total overhaul of the police constabulary system in the country. This is as Arase called for urgent measures to differentiate the special constabulary from regular police officers. Arase, a retired Inspector General of Police, made the call in a statement issued on Thursday by the Commission spokesperson Ikechukwu Ani. He said there should be a clear definition of operations, including uniforms and rules of engagement. According to Arase, the Police Service Commission is no longer comfortable with the organization and operations of the Special Police Constabulary nationwide. On the foreign scene, the Israeli embassy in South Korea has removed a video showing an imaginary scenario in which Koreans are attacked by masked assailants in Seoul, a reference to Hamas, Seoul's foreign ministry said on Thursday. The video, which is no longer available on the embassy's social media, depicted a distressing scenario in which a South Korean woman in the capital is abducted by an armed assailant on Christmas Day and forcefully separated from her daughter. The Israeli embassy wrote alongside the now removed video posted on its Facebook account on Tuesday, October 7th, Israel was attacked by Hamas terrorists. 1,200 men, women, and children were killed, and over 240 people were taken hostage in Gaza. Britain on Thursday lifted some costly obstacles placed on school trips post-Brexit, but only for students from France, as campaigners called for all EU countries to benefit. The U-turn follows talks earlier this year over the issue between Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and the French President Emmanuel Macron. French and EU nationals at schools in France who cross the channel for language learning holiday will now need to carry only a simple identity card, as was the case before the UK formally departed the European Union in 2021. While non-EU nationals attending French schools will still need a passport to enter the UK on a language learning holiday, London has scrapped the need for them to have a visa costing $115. British Educational Travel Association, which has seen demand for school trips double since Brexit, described Thursday's changes as positive step ahead, while urging the UK government to expand them for the entire European Union. You're watching the news cycle live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When news cycle returns, Russia reopens embassy in Burkina Faso, closed in 1992. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Stay with us. Come back from the break. On the foreign scene, Russian and U.S. space agencies have agreed to keep working together to deliver crews to the International Space Station ISS until at least 2025. Russian corporation Roscosmos said Thursday the space sector, including its so-called cross flights that involve sending crews from different nationalities on one spacecraft, is a rare area of cooperation remaining between Moscow and Washington since Russia sent troops to Ukraine. It also aims to guarantee the presence of at least one representative of Roscosmos on the Russian segment and the presence of at least one representative of NASA on the American segment. Russia said in April that it planned to use the International Space Station until 2028, an apparent reversal of an earlier announcement to quit the orbiting laboratory after 2024. Russia on Thursday reopened its embassy in Burkina Faso after a gap of nearly 32 years. The West African nation's government and a Russian diplomat said the mission was closed in 1992. The Russian ambassador to Ivory Coast, Alexis Saltykov, said Russian President Vladimir Putin would name the new envoy. The Burkinabe Foreign Ministry confirmed this in a statement. Saltykov said he would head the mission in Burkina Faso until the new ambassador is named, and described Burkina Faso as an old partner with whom they have solid and friendly ties. Burkina Faso last year experienced two military coups, both triggered in part by discontent at failures to stem a raging jihadist insurgency. In business, the federal government, through the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, has fined British American Tobacco and its affiliate companies $110 million. This is for alleged infringement of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act, National Tobacco Control Act, and sundry legal instruments. The FCCPC said on Wednesday in a statement. In addition, the Commission said BAT must subject itself to compliance and monitoring for a period of 24 months, mandatory public health and tobacco control advocacy, and provisions of written assurances to the Commission. The Nigerian stock market resumed trading on Wednesday after Christmas holidays with a loss of 139.34 billion naira due to profit taken. The Nigerian Exchange Limited All-Share Index and market capitalization both declined by 0.34%, moving down from preceding days 74,023.27 points and 40.507 trillion naira respectively to 73.768.64 points and 40.367 trillion naira. The NGX SI year-to-date return was at 43.94%, while the total volume traded advanced by 2.27% to close at 432.91 million naira, valued at 12.94 billion naira, and traded in 8.901 deals. At the close of trading, the market recorded 38 gainers, 21 losers, and 61 unchanged. Nigerian companies entered the final quarter of the year with a cash reserve of 2.3 trillion naira, the largest cash balance in recent history. This data was compiled from over 30 of the largest companies listed on the Nigerian exchange over the calendar year from January to December. The data excludes commercial banks and insurance companies whose business models allow them to receive cash on behalf of their customers. The cash balances of the companies under consideration represents a 27% increase from the 1.8 trillion naira reported as cash and cash equivalents at the end of 2022. These companies reported a total revenues of 8.05 trillion naira in the period under review. The cash balances underscore the liquidity of Nigerian companies in the year fraught with macroeconomic challenges and subsequent monetary policy tightening. Moreover, this year, the economy recorded its highest money supply in history, surpassing 66 trillion naira by the end of September 2023. And in the world of sport, Tottenham Hotspur's Son Heung-min was named in South Korea's Asian Cup squad on Thursday, and coach Jurgen Klinsmann said it was about time they ended their 64-year continental title drought. Wolves forward Han Hee-chan, who scored his 10th Premier League goal of the season against Brentford on Wednesday, was also among Klinsmann's 26-man selection for the tournament, which kicks off in Qatar on January 12th. Son will captain a squad that includes Bayern Munich's defender Kim Min-jae and 22-year-old Paris Saint-Germain attacking midfielder Lee Kan-in. South Korea have been drawn in Group E and will face Malaysia, Jordan, and Bahrain in the first round. Granit Xhaka, the Swiss midfielder who spent 7 influential years at Arsenal, is poised for an emotional return to the club. Reports indicate that Xhaka has arrived in London and is expected to be present at Arsenal's clash against West Ham at their home ground. During his tenure with the Gunners, Xhaka notably played a pivotal role in their bid for Premier League title last season, narrowly missing out on the championship. Despite his integral contribution leading Arsenal back to the Champions League, Xhaka surprisingly sought a move back to the Bundesliga, joining Bayern Leverkusen. His departure, which occurred swiftly, denied him the chance to bid a proper farewell to teammates and the devoted fan base that held him in high regard. However, this return fixture against West Ham provides an opportunity for Xhaka to reconnect with his former colleagues and supporters who embraced him during his time in North London. For more sports updates, let's now join the sports crew for more sporting stories. All right, sports fans, it's time for sports stories. Let's begin from the African Cup of Nations, where Moleya Salah has been left out of the Guinean squad for the upcoming African Cup of Nations after falling out with the manager over a shirt he swapped with Vinicius Junior of Real Madrid. Guinea will kick off their campaign when they take on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon on January 15 before facing Gambia and the reigning champions, the Teranga Lions of Senegal. They will be without midfielder Salah, who has failed to make the squad after reportedly getting into an argument with teammates and the manager after their 4-1 loss to Brazil in June. Following the defeat, the 25-year-old swapped shirts with Real Madrid superstar Vinicius Junior before the shirt mysteriously vanished in the dressing room, and aggrieved Salah started to point fingers at teammates before accusing manager Keba Diawara of theft. All right, let's move on to the tennis court, where former world number 1 one, Rafa Nadal was back on the court for the first time since his long injury layoff in a welcome sight for tennis fans ahead of the Australian Open. Nadal, who is 37, has not played professionally since January when he failed to defend his title down under. Back-to-back hip injuries have hampered the Spaniard all year, leading to fears for his playing future. But he is hoping for one final hooray in Australia next month and was moving freely on the court in Queensland on Thursday, where he will play at the Brisbane International. Nadal has previously admitted that 2024 will likely be his last season, where he plans to say goodbye to his adoring fans. All right, still talking tennis. Let's tell you about this man. His name, Carlos Alcaraz. Yes, heir to Rafa Nadal. Let's say that Carlos Alcaraz came from a set down to beat rival Novak Djokovic in Saudi Arabia on Wednesday in an exhibition which doubled up as a dress rehearsal for next month's Australian Open. The world number 2 triumphed 4-6, 6-4, 6-4 to kick off the new season. The two best male players in the world faced off in Saudi desert for the Riyadh Season Tennis Cup. It was a match that swung this way and that, with Alcaraz breaking in the first game, only for Djokovic to reply with two breaks of his own to take the opener 6-4. But the Serbian world number 1 lost his serve at the start of the second set too. This time Alcaraz had his nerve to level the match. The Wimbledon champion then took charge of the third set, breaking in the third game, but Djokovic rallied once more, leveling at 3 games apiece before Alcaraz sealed a decisive second break. Let's say that the Spaniard needed 3 bites at the cherry before eventually edging 5-4 ahead. The 20-year-old Alcaraz then closed out the match. All right, let's wrap it up talking boxing. Let's tell you that boxing fans have slammed Ring Magazine's decision to keep hard hitter Deontay Wilder in their top 10 rankings despite his recent defeat to Joseph Parker. The Bronze Bomber has only fought twice since his trilogy defeat to Tyson Fury back in 2021, and fans believe that the American should call it a career. Joseph Parker shocked the world by beating Wilder to a unanimous point victory in Saudi Arabia. Their heavyweight clash went all 12 rounds on December 23rd, with the judges scoring the bout 118 to 101, 120 to 108 in Kiwi's favor. Wilder sits 9th despite his recent dip in form, much to the surprise of many fans. And that's how we call it a wrap on the Sports News Update. I am Anthony Momodu.